Test. Hallo? Hm. Okay, gehen wir mal davon aus, dass man mich verstehen kann. Hi, I am going to give a brief demo on what I'm working right now. Therefore, let me share my screen. Um, all right. So this emulator is currently running on the operating system TrueOS. I will close down the windows and do a fresh start. Therefore, we just make from the current sources, and there's always multiple ways to just use shell. So you can connect to shell on the UART, you can connect to shell over TCP, and you can think of other media or backends means of communication for basically the shell input and output. So here is I want to briefly just show you the most important, like the biggest concept around the current shell interface. I've done some structuring. So you have your F1, F2, F3, F4, and F5 for your IRC, for scripting, for surfing the web. So what you would usually do, you start in command mode, and then you just press tab and you get a list of commands. So these are basic commands to control your system. For example, some of these, they will go. They have no belonging here, but you can send a mail. And you would be able to update and install. These are important. Run is basically what I've shown in the forums with the blueprints. You have to put the BP module on your file system. For example, if you go with file, you see your file system here. I see I have one disk, another disk. So you have two disks on the file system and some files on both of the disks. And what you would do is put your BPL in the root, type run, and then you can select that. That's how you currently execute native applications if you have actually developed an application for TrueOS. Okay, then let's see. Of course, it's just the text backend, so the shell always useful. Maybe maybe just show the self command real quick. We come back to that later. Never mind. Let's show the AI command real quick because it is basically meant to mimic somewhat what the API of OpenAI 4.5 is currently doing. With this normal mode that kind of like tracks the conversation ID, so you have context, and I can do a new chat. You have the tools for web search and for local file search. These kind of need to be backed by your, I mean, for example, the file search permission will need some adapter, some SDK implementation. It's done. So if you give it the option files tool search with your prompt, it will search or have the ability to find a file for you on your file system. That's pretty neat. AIPC is doing the tool loop, and there's some things upcoming. I just want to like make you curious and aware that for sure the AI adapter is coming back, but currently is under construction because a lot of huge system system chunks system parts moved recently once again, but only to the better. So we have here the actual front end to the operating system right now. You're going to see quite a lot here, actually, a lot of this is loading immediately on boot. And what I would like to show you here, perhaps, I mean, there's so many things to show right now already. Um, what you see, let me move a mouse here. What you see here, I will select the window, just click on it. And what you see here is basically a web browser, but it's just able to do text because it is a carefully designed HTML pipeline that is basically blazing fast. So if you decide to surf to some website, for example, you surf to google.de, it will open. This is not cached or something, okay? So this was a real. Where's the Windows behind? This was a real query to the Google server. We pass the entire DOM and CSS, and we get the links for the assets, but we don't yet place them. So because the HTML pipeline, and this is pretty like you're combating huge DOM spaces, a lot of UI, and I don't want to go in the wrong direction. What I've done here is a very good parsing, very fast HTML fetch. Some of these web servers, they send you on a redirect journey. HTML fetch is actually a is pretty isolated thing here that is guarded by a lot of assumptions. Like there's limits on everything. Like you cannot have more than 3 jumps. You cannot have more than this and that tags nesting, and because at some point you have to like make something visually out of the HTML, and what they send you is ridiculous. Like the HTML is so kind of like it's not broken. It's just everybody is doing HTML, and there is the HTML5 standard, but it's only actually let's not talk so much about details to web parsing. After all, it's pretty straightforward. Like we have well, we should have. Okay, let me move this around. Let me just show you. Actually, you can minimize these so they're out of the way. Here you have a working particle system. That's currently, it's kind of slow because it's a lot of particles, but as well, there's some things not visually to you right now going on that take compute for no reason. So currently the system is calculating other things. But if I would, for example, close down these browser instances, they currently all the time rebuild on every frame. Of course, that is it's kind of like draining the performance here, but it does not block us from having a demo in this intermediate development step. For example, I've baked in some of my favorite font. It's a very nice readable font. You can see we can scroll in the font container. Some of these characters are not present, but but there's like a matrix to it, so it's working pretty good. I have right now three individual tiers of font sizes. You have the small letters, you have the medium letters, and you have the big letters. And I was okay. We need good font to some degree. It needs to be placed nice and fast. I didn't want to spend too much time on multiple like typography features and font. I just wanted to have one nice font for now, and that's what the operating system is going to give you. It's not that hard to replace or duplicate that, but these assets are optimized. I pre-computed what we need here, and I'm happy with that. So let me close down these windows. So there's of course minimize, maximize. We have a resize, so you can resize the window. But what you would probably like to do more is in some scenarios, like we know these are all things that were there before. We have here a pretty neat Tetris, for example. We can play this game. I will move the small brick, and I will like uh, rotate this brick and place some bricks. And then I decide to, we need more of this. and just duplicate the window. And this is just like a function to the driver. You just like doesn't matter if you need more of the same that's going on. Yeah, well, here that's cheap, and here we get the same thing n times. And of course, you can close them. Just press the minus. I mean, just press the plus, the minus. I will look into that. I think it's currently maybe that. No. Here you have the SVG grid, and it shows some SVG. And now I will show you something insane. Because why are we talking about TrueOS if I'm not going to show you how great it is? So here is now two mouse cursors. I hope you can see that. Well, what is actually happening? I moved two mouse on my desk. I will try to show you with the camera one time. But before that, let me see if I can even see the camera. No, this is um yeah, more or less. So I will show you. I have on my desk a couple mouse, three, three mouse, one for my computer, and two of the mouse is inside the virtual machine because it is one of the most fun things I wanted to care for from the very beginning. I would like to have multiple mice and multiple cursor. So this is what you see here. You have a cursor plane, multiple mice. I just move my left and my right hand right now. And it's not meant to be with one person. It's meant to be with multiple people. So you click on the Tetris and then you click on this. You have another Tetris here, for example, and then one guy can move this window and another guy can move this window, and they will just like use the UI in the same kind of thing. So you can as well be in the same window. If I click this now as well, can see it's like let me move that one. You can see here now it's like blue and this. So it's selected by both. And each cursor can have one window selected, and that is like how it would usually be if there's multiple on one computer. So I have shown you quite some things with that. I wanted to also show into the shell one more thing that can make a lot of fun is the QJS mode that lets you load any JavaScript module so you can import and just like go right at it. For example, in the repel mode, you have a shell session that's persisting across your different calculations. So here I would like to have a variable that I call variable or bar1, and we're gonna assign some string like hello, and then we do a var2, and we're gonna assign some string like word, uh, and then we're just like going to var1 plus, we need a space I guess, plus var2, and here you see your persisted representation string concatenation evaluation. You can also see like the entire stack. You're just pretty amazing. Here's a C4 compiler behind. All it's doing is nice syntax highlighting. So I do my own kind of like parsing of that, side parsing the execution, just because I can make this colored very good. And there is only from university the C4 Dragon compiler. I was really just happy to have some place to use that. I was implementing backends to the C4 compiler, so maybe there will be some compile to this, compile to that, get the other thing. Like that would be pretty nice. And yeah, where there's more and more and more, you can talk about the operating system for a long time. What's kind of probably like need to see again. Let's go with surf and surf to example.de. So we get a website up. You can see here in the background it's going to load. Then it's going to have the HTML, and Here's the website. It's now here because I don't have a system to how it's going to arrange. But let's show the Mandelbrot because we have transparency. Like the UI has transparent overlays. Blending is working. So if I would just want to close the particle system and have a full screen Mandelbrot overlay over my UI, I would like to introduce you to TrueOS because you get that for free here. And yeah, well, don't you worry about the FPS. This is currently in the emulator. My biggest kind of development progression and my current um, goals, immediate goals, and what I'm working on right now is bring to you more of the XeLp integrated intergraphics. So I'm working here on the display copy media and render engine. So as soon as I've made some progress with the copy engine, but as soon as I have the render engine, probably the display engine going, or maybe just focus on the media engine for now, integrated into the browser, that would be so awesome. So yeah, well, the project grew within an insane amount of almost, I think, what is more than 500,000 source code lines, but it's well structured. There's, I don't believe, a single file that has more than uh, 1,000 lines of code. Maybe that's a handful of files that slightly grew, but not out of control. We have, for example, well structured like uh, QJS integration and with a lot to show. I don't want to dive into the source code right now. And of course, there's always questions to AI, so super helpful that you can get documentation onto your screen so fast these days. And yeah, I want to leave it off. This was meant to be 50 minutes, super quick. Like I get you up to speed, so you know. Oh, I want to look into that. I want to like have my own kind of idea program. I don't want to do full operating system, but I want that to be on some platform that is maybe like futuristic. Here we go, and that's me. Bye.